I want to share my process of finishing 3D printed parts. I have access to limited resource, so I found the best way to give 3D printed parts a professional look. Now no one would say that these were 3D printed but bought off the shelf. Stick around to see how you can do this treatment to your prints. Here I am using acrylic putty. It sticks well to plastic surfaces. For larger surfaces I used a plate to spread the putty, and for finer details I just use my finger. Here, because the surface was very porous, I used my finger to push in the putty. After applying it on all the surfaces, I let it dry for 2 hours before continuing with the next step. Using some double-sided tape, I fixed the sanding paper to the work table. This is 220 grit sandpaper. Then I placed the part and with even pressure started sanding the surface. I checked for bumps and continued with sanding till the surface was smooth. For hard to reach places, I cut a strip of sanding paper to make the sanding easier. Moving to 600 grit sandpaper. The bulk of the putty is removed in 220 grit sandpaper. The 600 grit just polishes the surface. A point to note will be to use MDF as the base for the sanding paper. Some of the putty has gone inside the holes. I used a countersink bit to remove them. Here is the main speaker housing. I followed the same process. The putty evens out big scratches too. Here is a clear example of how well acrylic putty fills in the print layers. Here is the final piece after sanding. This is Asian Paints oil-based primer. Use very little amount by thinning it properly. I didn't do it, so I had to sand after primer. But you can avoid the step if you thin the primer well with turpentine oil. This primer takes about 30 minutes to dry. I bought some gorgeous color from Asian Paints Royal with matte finish. I absolutely love matte finishes. This is dark grey color. Just a small amount is enough to get good coverage. Also, it's water based. This is rustic turquoise color that I use to accent the edges. Using the Bosnia matte color coat, I sealed the paint after it dried. Oh, by the way, the yellow color did not match, so I had to paint it in grey color later. I applied a generous amount of coat, but sprayed it from a distance so it did not clog anywhere, spoiling the finish. I repeated this twice at an interval of 2 hours. Later, after removing the painter's tape, I attached the speaker with some screws. Those white spots at the rim of the speaker were also given a coat of paint later. Using 2-component epoxy from Araldite is very easy. Just mix and apply it and it sets quickly. I applied a thin layer around the speakers and then quickly set the top piece. This hides all the screws and gives a clean look. I designed the Bluetooth speaker with 3 parts just for this purpose. And here is the final product. Let me know what you think about the finish. Does it still look 3D printed? Please share this video with all 3D printing enthusiasts. Maybe it will help them a bit. Also share with me your questions in the comments below. Please follow me on Instagram at MrJCRP to see the latest work in progress. Also, hashtag mediamilan whenever you repeat some of the designs shown here. I would love to see them. Until next time, happy learning!